Knicks family, what's popping with you? I'm glad that you're here with me. We got a couple guys here in the chat. We got Nate, we got Guillermo in the chat. And we're going to go ahead and get this thing rocking. We're doing Keep 'Em or Dump 'Em tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And we're talking about Elfrid Payton. I think I have an idea what most people are going to think, but you never know. Some people may surprise you. But I do want to say this. And I'm expecting some more people to get in the chat. If you want to get into the video chat, go to whereby.com/NBK. For all of my members, if you are a member, if you're a member, then you can join the video chat. Let me not say join the video chat. You can go behind the scenes and see this video chat that's going on and listen to the guys talking in this video chat. All right. So I'm about to put a link in the chat so that you can access it. Now, again, this is only for those who are members. If you are not a paying member, then that's okay. I don't care about that. I'm just saying, if you are, this is a member benefit for those guys. So I'm putting the link right here in the chat. All right. If you click on that link, you'll be able to see what's going on behind the scenes. Right now, it's not much. It's just Guillermo and Nate. All right. But I'm sure some other guys are going to jump in and, you'll get to hear what they talk about behind the scenes. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the link is there in the chat, in the YouTube chat, and you can access it right now if you want to. They're not saying much, but you can access it right now. And if you're not a member, right below the video, there's a button that says join. You can check it out right there and make a decision on what you want to do. Okay? So today we're here to talk about Elfrid Payton and whether or not we should keep him or dump him. Now, if you were following our sportscaster last night, of course, there were some guys who were heavy. We got to dump him. We got to dump him. We got to dump him. We did get a caller that said, nah, I think we should keep him. I don't know. So you know what? There may be some people who have a difference of opinion. It could be. Anyway, let me say what's up to the guys that's in the chat, and then we'll start talking about Elfrid Payton and whether or not we want to keep him or dump him or whatever we want to do. All right, and we can talk about it a little bit further. And do remember that directly after this show at 10:30, we'll be doing an episode of Classic Knicks. Should be a good one. The Miami Heat versus the New York Knicks, 1999, Game 5 of the NBA playoffs. All right, we're going to break that game down and take a look at that. Let's get over here with these guys and say what's up to them. Let's start off with Nate. My man Nate, what's going on with you, bro? Nate?
Can you hear me?
There you go. What's going on, Nate?
Not much, man. Just chilling. Just finished dinner, and we're going to talk some shop on the Knicks.
All right, man. We're going to do it, man. My man Wayne is in the building. What's up, Wayne?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Just anxious to talk Knicks. Always anxious to talk Knicks,
Always anxious, huh?
Yeah, Guillermo, what's going on with you, man?
Chilling, man. Let's get to this Elfrid Payton nonsense.
Nonsense. See what I'm saying, chat? Already nonsense. You see that?
I'm joking.
Nah, he's not joking. He don't like Elfrid Payton.
Nah,
that's okay.
I'll get you. I don't hate him as much as other people would say, but yeah.
That's okay. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to like Elfrid Payton. That's all good. Anyway, I'm going to take a moment and break down just a little bit of information about Elfrid Payton before we get into why we should keep him and why we should dump him. All right, we're going to go ahead and then break it down. Now, Big Freezy just joined us, so the conversation's about to pick up. Big Freezy, what's going on, man?
Joking.
You don't like Elfrid Payton.
Nah.
Big Freezy got the background going on already. I'm going to get the Freezy. I'm going to get back to Big Freezy after we break down Elfrid Payton. And let me just remind you guys, those who are just joining us, if you are a member, Okay, you can join. I'm putting the link in the YouTube chat right now. You can join and hear what these guys are talking about behind the scenes. While I'm talking about Elfrid Payton, these guys are usually talking about something else. All right, so there's the link right there. You guys can join it. All right, and hear what these guys are talking about. That's only if you're a member. All right, so let me go ahead and, without further ado, talk about Elfrid Payton. Give a quick synopsis of Elfrid Payton, and we'll get on with it. You see it, man. Keep him or dump him. What do we do with Elfrid Payton? Well, first of all, let's talk about his salary.
Of course, man. He's my favorite player of all time, man.
All right, let's talk about his salary and how much he hurts the Knicks with his salary, or it doesn't hurt the Knicks with his salary. Okay? So, Elfrid Payton. For this season, 2019-2020, Elfrid Payton, he makes $8 million. He's on the books for $8 million next season as well. Okay? But there's a caveat with that for next season. All right, for Elfrid Payton, he's only guaranteed $1 million in 2020-2021. All right? It's only guaranteed $1 million. His contract becomes guaranteed if the Knicks do not waive him by June 28th, 2020. Okay? So, the Knicks, that provides some room for thought. Okay? It provides some room for thought when you talk about keeping or waiving Elfrid Payton, because that June 28th deadline is, of course, before free agency. Assuming that everything with free agency is the same, right? That we're still starting July 1st. That's when players can be signed and all that kind of stuff. All right, so assuming that's all the same, then that date, it's a little funky, especially with the situation that the Knicks are in. But again, Elfrid Payton is owed $8 million this season. This season's just done. I think they said something about the players are going to get paid the remainder of their money tomorrow or something like that. Right? And then he's owed $8 million in the 2020-2021 season, but only $1 million of it is guaranteed. All right, if he's waived by June 28th, the Knicks do not have to pay that $8 million. They only got to pay him $1 million. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see. He's 6'3", 185 pounds. He's not 1,855 pounds. He's 185 pounds. So I'll fix that for you. He's 26 years old. Young vet. His stats for this season. This is for this season. And I don't know if you consider these stats to be where they're supposed to be, underwhelming or overwhelming. You let me know. All right, this season he averaged 10 points per game, 4.7 rebounds. He averaged 7.2 assists, 2.1 turnovers. He shot 43.9% from the field, and he shot a paltry. And when I say a paltry, and I don't mean poultry like chicken, I mean bad, poultry, Paltry. Hopefully I used the word right, I don't know. 20.3% from the three-point line. It's terrible, ladies and gentlemen. He shot 20.3% from the three-point line. And he shot 57% from the free throw line. Clearly, he is not a shooter. Okay? He cannot shoot the ball. He has his moments. He has his moments where he gets hot. And he makes a shot here, he makes a shot there. Right? He had a couple of games where, he got hot from the three-point line. Now, listen, looking at his field goal percentage, shot 43.9% from the field. Geez, I mean, if he made 33% or 35% of his three-point baskets, he'd shoot 45, 46% from the field. Then, of course, his free throw, for me, a guard, you're a 6'3" guard, man, shooting 57% from the free throw line is just doesn't make any sense. take a look at his strengths and weaknesses real quick. Then we're going to get to the conversation. He has an ability to run the team. And we've seen it this season, right? And we've seen a clear difference between him and other players when he was out there trying to run a team. Does he always run it the correct way? There's some questions there, right? Some people complain that he passed to Julius Randle too much. You know, they played together with the New Orleans Pelicans, so maybe they had a friendship or whatever you want to call it. And, people will complain that he passed to him too much. But he does have an ability to run a team. You just got to make sure you have a coach that's going to make him run the team the way you want him to run the team. He is a triple-double threat. Okay, I mean, you've seen he averaged 10.7 assists, 4.7 rebounds per game. Okay, he's a triple-double threat. He has his moments offensively. Like I said, he can hit the shot sometimes. We've seen a couple games where he was hot from three. It's just not consistent. I mean, he surprised me a few times when he went to the basket and dunked on a couple of people. It surprised me. But those moments are too far and few between. Weaknesses. Well, he can't shoot. That's number one. Right off Jump Street, he can't shoot the ball. His jumper is flat. Right? He has a flat jumper. You know, he lets it up and it's a straight beeline to the hoop. Sometimes he can over dribble. Right? I've seen it where, dribble the air out the ball, or sometimes he penetrates too deep when he doesn't have to, kind of forcing it down the lane. I don't know if, someone's like, hey, we need someone to penetrate. But, sometimes it's a little bit too much. And then the question is he a true floor general? Because, if the complaint was that he was passing to Julius Randle too much, a true floor general, if Julius Randle's demanding the basketball, and I think maybe we've seen him do it a couple of times, but if Julius Randle's demanding the basketball and you're like, this ain't the time to get you the ball, I want to do something else, you pass him over. You wave him out the way. You move him out the way. It doesn't matter if you're friends or not, or if you played before or not. You move him out the way, you get somebody else the ball, whoever you want to get the ball. There were times where I seen with Elfrid Payton where somebody else on the team was hot. He didn't ride that person. Okay? And make sure he got that person the ball. So, that's why I question, is he or is he not a true floor general? He has the ability to run the team, but is he a true general on the floor? I don't think he is. I think it comes and goes. I seen some people in the chat that say he has good court vision. He can pass. Yes, he does. He has good court vision. He can pass the basketball. He can pass the basketball. So that's Elfrid Payton. These things here, to me, equal a good backup point guard. And I think that's what he's going to be in the future for the Knicks. Or not for the Knicks. In the future in the NBA, is a good backup point guard. The kind of guy that you can put on your team and he'll be a backup point guard for your team. And he'll be a decent backup point guard. And if your starting point guard goes down, he can handle it for a period of time. And then when your starting point guard comes back, he takes over. All right. That's Elfrid Payton. That's what I see in Elfrid Payton. Do you keep him? Do you dump him? There's going to be a lot of people that right off the bat say dump him. But I think we have to ask some questions first before we just say dump him. At least I do. Okay, what questions do we have to ask? Well, one, are we picking up another point guard in the draft? That's the plan. And big shout out to Danny Joseph for becoming a member, a 2000s member. Big shout out to you. You see the chat's full, man. You should enjoy listening to these guys in the chat. And in a moment, I'm going to mute myself in the chat so you can hear these guys have their conversations. I'm going to mute myself. They can still hear me, All right. But for those who are listening, you guys can hear them because I don't want to jump over their conversations. But what I'm saying about Elfrid Payton is this. Are we going to get a point guard in the draft? And let's say we do get a point guard in the draft. We get a young point guard. Let's just assume we get LaMelo Ball. Let's just say that. If we do get LaMelo Ball, do you want to have a veteran point guard on the team? Right? Or are you trying to go with two young guys, LaMelo Ball, Frank Ntilikina, LaMelo Ball, Dennis Smith Jr., or whoever? Most likely, I guess we would say Frank Ntilikina because most people want Dennis Smith Jr. gone. So is that something that you want to do? LaMelo Ball, Frank Ntilikina. Or do you want to have Frank Ntilikina that can go between three different positions and have a backup point guard, a veteran point guard, to back up LaMelo Ball? And I know we may not get a LaMelo Ball. I'm just using this as an example, okay? Let's not go too crazy. I'm just using it as an example. Do you want a veteran point guard? And if you do want a veteran point guard, who? If not Elfrid Payton. Who else is out there who else is out there that you're gonna get? And he's a young vet. It's not like he's 30, 32. He's a young vet. Who else is out there that you're gonna get to run that backup point guard spot? Now, I know there's going to be people that say, let's go get Chris Paul. If you get LaMelo or you get whoever, let's go get Chris Paul. But what if you don't? Then who else is out there that you're going to get? That's my question with Elfrid Payton. Right? I'm not saying he's going to be the starting point guard for this team. Not saying that at all. But are you happy with going along with two very young point guards? That's my question to you guys. So I'm going to come to the chat and I want to hear what these guys think about it. And remember, here's the caveat. Here's the thing. Okay? Elfrid Payton, you have to make a decision about him by June 28th before free agency begins. Now, of course, with all the backdoor channels, people might know if they're going to sign a player or make a trade for a player, whatever it is. Who knows? Okay, but you got to make a decision about Elfrid Payton by June 28th. Because if you don't waive him, then he's on the books for $8 million. If you waive him, you only got to give him $1 million. So you got to make a decision soon. The Knicks got to make a decision soon. Let's get to the guys in the chat. I want to hear what these guys are thinking. All right, I kind of know what some of them are going to say. I'm going to start off with, I'm going to start off with Guillermo. And then I'll get around to the rest of the crew. Guillermo, I already got you unmuted. What do you think, Guillermo?
He definitely should not be the starter anymore, or should not be up for the starting position. I'd rather move on from him, just simply because his shooting stats are pretty abysmal. He shot 20.3% from three this year. From the field, it was decent at 43.9%, 44%, 7.2 assists. But that, and 57% from the line, which is terrible. We need a point guard who could be able to shoot off the dribble, shoot off the pick and roll, be able to hit the three at a decent clip to keep defenses honest. Because again, when they know what your strength and what you can do, you kind of stifle the offense when literally you're by yourself at the top of the key and you're literally hesitating and you can't hit those open shots. I mean, 20% is just, that's not NBA acceptable. Unless you're a center or something like that. And even now, centers have to be able to shoot. So just want to go into the stats, the passing stats real quick. And you said that some people think that Elfrid Payton passed too much to Julius Randle. Well, let me tell you something. The stats also think that, because when breaking down his passes to all the Knicks players, obviously the person he passed to the most is Julius Randle, right? So I looked at other guys. I looked at Frank too, and Frank also passes the most to Julius Randle, but there's a difference, right? So basically he passes Julius Randle probably twice as much to the next person, which ironically would be RJ Barrett. So he passes Julius Randle 29.2% of the time. And he passes to RJ Barrett at 13% of the time. Marcus Morris at 11.2, but that percentage obviously has gone down since he wasn't hit. He got traded to the Clippers. Reggie Bullock at 9.4%, Bobby Portis at 8.8. And then when you bring it down to Frank Ntilikina, he passed to Julius Randle 21.6% of the time, right? But he passed to Bobby Portis 15.7%, Bobby Portis. You know what I mean? Now, RJ Barrett at 13.5%, Marcus Morris at 10.3%, Kevin Knox at 8.1%, and then Taj at 7.8%. Oddly enough, both of them don't, when we look at, and this might be a testament more so to Mitch Robinson. I got to look at Mitch Robinson's total usage rate, but when you look at Mitch Robinson, both of them pass to Mitch Robinson in the mid double digits, which means that, that could be an offensive system thing where they're not running a lot of pick and rolls or plays to get Robinson open, because obviously Mitch Robinson is not shooting. He's not spacing the floor out. He's basically making those points to the basket. But, when you look at a guy like Frank, and I know people are going to kill me for this, but you want that disparity, that better disparity. You want that standard deviation to be a little bit wide, where you're getting it out to more players at an even clip, versus like we've all suspected all along, where Elfrid Payton is not saying only, but he's mostly passing Julius Randle, right? And Julius Randle, when you break it down, so in regards to the field goals made by Julius Randle, overall from passes from
Payton.
Payton, excuse me, thank you. He's shooting at 44.8%. At 2-point field goals, 48.2%, and then 3-pointers, 31.7%. For RJ Barrett, though, field goal percentage is low at 38%. He's rookie. 2-point field goals at 40.9%, but his three-point percentage was higher at 32.7%. So I have to watch the film to see exactly how he's making these passes and how he's getting these guys set up. But it seems that, for both Fizdale and Mike Miller, it's just, I guess the offense kind of always revolved around Randle, which is, I think he's not bad at a third, fourth scorer. But again, we saw too many times where Julius Randle kind of hogged the ball and took the ball. And so it just seems like with Payton, when you have a guy with Payton, and it's just like that sometimes. Some role players, they gravitate to some other role players, right? It's like a stem cell versus a developed cell, where sometimes a developed cell, you can't really change it, right? You can't really change their colors. But, a stem cell you can, right? And so what I'm saying with that long-winded kind of explanation analogy is that you need a point guard who's more, amiable, one that could, or amenable, that's the word. We could kind of change around where it's like, all right, we need you to facilitate to the guy who's open. And that's why I look at Chris Paul and look at him as like the pinnacle of point guards in the modern day NBA, because if I look at Chris Paul's stats, I'm not going to do it now, but I would assume that, even for some of the lesser teams he's played on, that disparity in terms of who he's passing to, it usually went to the guy who's going to give him the easiest field goal, right? And I think that with Payton, I think that he favored Randle because Randle's a veteran versus kind of trusting it to this new, upshot kid and RJ Barrett or some of these other guys, right? It's just, and then when you look at Frank, for the simple fact that Randle was his number one, but Bobby Portis was his number two.
I don't know what stats you have up, but how many times did he and Julius Randle run screen and roll?
Give me. I can find that. Give me 2 seconds.
Because the reason why I'm asking that is maybe. Maybe they ran a lot of screen and roll, them two players. And I'm not saying that, you don't have to go other places. I'm just saying, maybe that's one of the reasons, because they ran a lot of screen and roll together. I don't know. Like I said, we'd have to look at the stats.
I agree with you. I agree. That's why I said I would love to watch the film to get a better feel, because I didn't want to make basically, because look, if Julius Randle's right, if you're doing a screen and roll and that's an easy basket, you pass that 90% of the time. I don't give a damn. But obviously that wasn't the case. But I'll definitely look that up for you.
So let me ask you this though, right? Do you want to go with? Let's assume that Dennis Smith Jr. is gone. Let's just assume that, and Elfrid Payton. Frank Ntilikina is the guard that you're keeping. Is your other young guard that you're keeping, point guard that you're keeping, and you draft the point guard? Are you comfortable with going with the point guard that you drafted and Frank? Or do you want to have a veteran? And if not Elfrid Payton, then who?
I got to look at the free agency landscape, but I don't feel comfortable with just the guy I drafted and Frank. Unless you're running a guy like Atkinson where you're running set plays hold on, maybe I say when you're running those set plays and there's more structure, right? You don't need a point guard to come in and kind of think too much on the floor because he's going to run that pick and roll and get to open guy, dribble drive, triple threat, right? Dribble drive, make the basket, pass a big guy who's cutting with you or pass the perimeter, right? You know, you have more of a structured thing. So to me, I do want a veteran point guard, but I want a veteran point guard where their game is going to mirror what we want to do on the floor. And I think the Knicks need somebody who is able to shoot off the dribble and shoot from perimeter. You know what I mean? And I feel like all those point guards, even Frank, I'm not giving Frank a free pass, but all three of my point guards and whoever we draft at the point guard, whether it's Kerry Lewis, LaMelo, whoever, Halliburton, all those guys have to kind of follow that same formula and be able to space out the floor. That's how you create strong benches. You have a basic identity. That's why you could bring in a team. You have a team like the Warriors. You know, Curry has to sit out, but they had that kid with the hair who'll come in and shoot a few threes a game. I forgot his damn name. I mean, obviously he's not Curry, but you want your backup point guards to kind of replicate that a little bit, right? So when your guy's out, he's hurt or whatever, he needs a breather, your system is not out of whack. Now we don't have to accommodate for the fact that you can't shoot. But give me 2 seconds, Tim. I just found it regards to the type. So I have to probably do a little bit more digging to find exactly to who.
Yeah, well go ahead. I'm going to move on and talk to some other guys because that's the question that I want to hear from people. If not Elfrid Payton, if you're not comfortable with Frank Ntilikina and a young point guard, and if it's not going to be Elfrid Payton, then who? Like, who else is out there? Unless you're thinking about getting a Fred VanVleet or something like that. But then that guy's coming in to be a starter, right? You get a Fred VanVleet, he's not coming in to come off the bench. So who? You know, that's what I want to know because Elfrid Payton's making $8 million. It's not terrible. Okay, it's not terrible. He's making $8 million, and you got to make that decision by June 28th. You know, so you know that's why I ask. You know, who? You know, so let me get around. Nate, coming to you, man. Go ahead, Nate. Hold on. I thought I had you unmuted, but I didn't. There you go. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather dump Payton because I probably would keep Frank Ntilikina and DSJ. But like I told you before, I value more of these players over any of the point guards in the draft. I mean, you can say what you want to say, but I just don't like any of these point guards.
Well,
so I'm not going to reach on the point guard.
I mean, but seriously, I'm not sure what I think about Dennis Smith Jr. right now. You know what I'm saying?
But he's the most talented, and he's only 21 years old.
When I did keep him a dump on, right? Mm-hmm. When I did keep him a dump on, I said keep him because of his talent. I did. I said keep him because of his talent. But I'm not keeping him as my point guard. Right? I'm not keeping him with the mindset that he's going to be my point guard that's going to run a team. I'm keeping him with a mindset that he's going to be a combo guard that can come in and score. Okay. Now, he didn't prove that this year, right? He only scored 5 points a game. But that's what I'm keeping him with, that type of a mindset. And, you know, and plus his contract is probably beneficial if you want to make some trades at the trade deadline next year. His contract would be, I think he's more beneficial than if you just waive him or you just let him go, or unless you're going to trade him in the draft or something like that, then of course, okay? You know, you use him that way. You just don't get rid of him. You know, you try to get something for him or include him in a trade or something like that. I'm not confident. I'm not confident with having, if we pick up a young point guard, I am not confident with having Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. be the guys who are backing him up, be the second and third string point guard if you pick up a start point guard in the draft. I'm not confident with that.
Let me ask you this question that nobody's really talking about outside of if we draft a point guard. What about the coach? If it's Tom Thibodeau, you know it's going to be defensive minded.
I mean, I get that. I understand, right? You're gonna have a coach. No matter what, we're gonna get a coach. Mm-hmm. Someone's gonna be the coach. But you still gotta have your coach is not gonna do everything. You still gotta have players that can play the game.
But what I'm saying is the philosophy of whatever the coach is gonna determine what kind of point guard we're gonna be looking for. If it's Tom Thibodeau, it's going to be probably more defensive minded, which I think is going to favor Frank. But let me ask you this question: would you rather have Frank or Elfrid Payton starting right now?
Right now, depending
Right
on
now.
what your team is made up of, if I had to choose between the two, who was going to start, it would probably be Elfrid Payton.
Who would you start? You start Elfrid Payton? Okay.
If I was choosing
I would start
between
Frank,
the two,
but I'm defensive minded.
If I was choosing between the two, I would probably, because Frank, to me, here's the thing about Frank. I don't feel like he has the confidence to demand the team. Right? Elfrid Payton has that a little bit more. He has that a little bit more than Frank does right now in his career. Frank will develop that, I think. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. But that's why
I want to say. Hold on, one second. And somebody just asked the question: did I say that I don't like Frank as my backup point guard? No, that's not what I said. What I said is I don't want to have two young guys as my backup point guards. Right? I like to have a veteran out there as a point guard. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I like to have a veteran. That's famous. Said this. Did Sim say he doesn't like Frank as the backup? Well, I mean, I guess you can say that I said that. What I'm saying is I don't want to have a rookie point guard starting and then Frank coming off the bench at this point. I want to have a veteran out there somewhere, somehow, somebody. I want to have a veteran that can come in the game. You know, I especially from the point guard spot, I value that. Go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
So outside of Chris Paul, who are you thinking that would be a good, like, who would be our Jared Jack of this team?
I don't know. And then how much are you paying that player as well? I mean, can you get somebody at the veterans minimum that can be, that can be enough or not? Right now, you got to pay Elfrid Payton. If you do not waive him, you got to pay him $8 million.
And the problem is with these point guard situations, Sim, is if we do get a veteran point guard and he outplays our other point guards, how are the other ones going to grow? I think this is a situation where you got to let the young guys you got to roll with the young guys and hope one of them figures it out. I mean, I don't want to see another situation with Jared Jack. I mean, I get he was a good mentor and all that, but bring him on the staff or somebody like that, or somebody who's got point guard, experience. Bring in Charlie Ward or something. I don't know. Somebody who can work with these point guards if you're not going to bring in Chris Paul. Yeah. But I think you got to run with the young guys. That's why.
Now I see in the chat, It's Me says every year we have 3 point guards causing confusion. But see, I don't think, many, man. But see, I don't think. I disagree. Usually, most teams have 3 point guards. One guy just doesn't play. All right, you look at rosters; they have more than 2 point guards. You got to have more than 2 point guards because people are going to go down. One guy just doesn't play. With this team here, when you have Frank Ntilikina doesn't have to play your backup point guard. He can play that role sometimes if somebody is hurt, but he can also play off the ball. He may not be a great shooter, okay? Right? He may not be a Frank shooter, a great shooter, and hopefully he's going to develop that, but he can play a couple of different positions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Frank Ntilikina can play a couple of different positions, so you can still find ways for him to play. What'd you say?
I said I agree with you. I think DSJ makes a perfect combo guard. In fact, I could see him like backing up RJ if you keep him at the 2.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got that ability.
And if you have a point guard like LaMelo Ball, right? Here's where this is good, like where it could work with Frank Ntilikina. Let's say you have a point guard like LaMelo Ball, right? Or Cole Anthony. Let's say that. Who can also be a scoring guard. Then you can have times where Frank Ntilikina is on the ball and you let that guard be the scoring guard. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You let that guard be the scoring guard. You can have times where whoever your backup point guard is in, your backup point guard is in the game and somebody else, is at the shooting guard spot. Frank Ntilikina is on the bench. I mean, there's ways that you can do it because of the guys that you have on the floor. Right? It doesn't be that Frank has to be at the point guard spot or the point guard you draft has to be at the point guard spot. There's ways you can move it around if you have 3 guys
I think
there.
Frank can run the team, man.
He can. I mean, but what I still think that a veteran, to me, is a good idea to have at the point guard spot somewhere along the line. Now, I see some people say you can, May 4th said, why waste a pick on a point guard when Lamar Peters has it all? Well, I don't know if Lamar Peters really has it all, right? I mean, then someone else, Ishmael says, call up Lamar Peters to be your third point guard or Kadeem Allen. Lamar Peters is still young. Kadeem Allen is a little bit older. I mean, you could do that. That's what I'm asking. If you're not going to keep Elfrid Payton, then who are you going to call up? Or not call up? Who are you going to sign as a third or a veteran point guard?
The Knicks could find another Kadeem Allen. I really think that is the older point guard that has kind of been through other teams and all that. One of those journeymen, I guess you want to call it. Because honestly, that's the only one money I'd be willing to give for a point guard, a veteran point guard. I don't want to spend money on another point guard when you got two other guys where you got to see what you got in them first. And then if you draft a young point guard, then you got 3 point guards under 25 years old and no leader. So then you got to get another point guard. So you got 4 point guards. It's a mess, man. I mean, I think they got to figure out who the coach is going to be and then the draft, but then that's not going to happen. It's probably going to get the coach after the draft. So, man, it's a mess.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
There's a lot of moving pieces right now. A lot of moving pieces.
So, I mean, it's a sticky situation with Elfrid Payton because it's a sticky situation. So the Knicks, at the time that the Knicks have to make the decision, they have to make a decision by June 28th. So you've got to know that there's other point guards that you have your eye on. Or we're just going to go with the young guys. You got to make that decision by June 28th. We're either going to keep Elfrid Payton or we're going to go with, well, I don't want to say keep Elfrid Payton. We're either going to get another point guard in free agency or we're going to draft the point guard and we're going to go all young. That's a tough decision. That's a tough decision to make. And then, of course, that's going to depend on the direction that Leon Rose is going.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Big Freezy, I'm going to come to Big Freezy. Somebody let Big Freezy know I'm coming to him, man. I want to find out what Big Freezy thinks about this whole situation. Big Freezy, what's poppin' with you, bro? How you feeling? Freezy, can you hear me? Not sure if Big Freezy can hear me. So much stuff. Oh, there you go. All right. What's going on, man? What's your take on this situation? What's your take on the situation, man? And why does Mark keep coming in and out? What's going on? This is not a barn door. Did anybody ever tell that dude when you leave out the house, when you was a kid, your mom told you, close the door, this ain't a barn. Like, that's Mark. He wants run in and out. What's going on? What's going on with this dude, man?
In and out. All day.
Yeah, in and out. Hey, make up your mind.
I guess time is money to him.
What's going on? But what's your take on Elfrid Payton and this whole thing?
Man? It's a trip, man.
What's your take?
I wish Elfrid Payton would shoot and could shoot. You know what I mean? Because it would make a ton of difference in our offense. Hold on for a second. Dudes is still wilding out. I'm gonna mute a couple
guys out.
All right. I wish he could be more consistent on defense. Like, he had a reputation for being a really good defender, and a good floor general. But at times we saw lapses where his defense was subpar, and it was subpar because of effort. Also, there were times when the offense looked like a 4-on-5 where he just wouldn't shoot the ball. And then when forced to, he shot bad bricks that led to long rebounds. So, and when you piece that together with a few players that prefer to play with each other, like Wayne Ellington, Reggie Bullock, Elfrid Payton, and Julius Randle, not wanting to pass to anybody else on the team, but play together as a unit, it just kind of left that bad taste in my mouth. Like the Memphis game, where they just didn't pass to others, and the kids didn't really get to touch it. and then toward the end of the game, you see them wind up fighting over some mess. So I mean, I could do without him, man. To be honest with you, you know, if we moved on from him, I wouldn't celebrate, but I wouldn't be mad. You know, I wouldn't be mad either. You know, I think the offense needs some more youth, basically, some youth at point guard, like a young point guard that'll push the pace, get these kids out on the break, and get some easy buckets.
Yeah. Okay. And you know, and for the record, you know, I'm playing kind of both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? If I was Leon Rose, I would move on from Elfrid Payton, not because I think he's such a horrible player. I would move on from him because I want to free up the $8 million. Okay, and I don't think that his contribution to this team, I don't think his contribution to this team is going to be, how do I want to say it? This team is not in a situation where you need Elfrid Payton, I think you do need a veteran point guard. I think you always need a veteran point guard on a team. That's just my opinion, right? Someone who can come in, who can teach the young point guards, who can settle guys down, stuff like that. But I think you can get that somewhere around the league at the veterans minimum. So I think you waive Elfrid Payton by June 28th. Then you only got to pay him $1 million. Now you freed up that money if you want to absorb a contract. You know, you got to free up that money. There's guys, Elfrid Payton, Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson. There's guys where, you know, you can get from out of their contract, and I think this summer is the time to do it. You get from out of their contract, and if you can absorb contracts like a Chris Paul or somebody else, you know, so that you can take on other draft picks, then you do it. Or maybe there's other moves, but you got to free up that money in order to have the flexibility for this summer. So that's the reason why I would do it with Elfrid Payton. It's not really because of his play. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be you know, I think he's going to be a backup point guard in the NBA for his career, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to be one that can come in and really give you some good minutes, I think. You know, but I think right now we're just in a situation. I think we're in a different situation. You know, where we've got to have our cap clean. We've got to have draft capital. You know, I think that's where we are right now. If they kept him, I wouldn't be crazy. I wouldn't be mad. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, they kept Elfrid Payton. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be okay. Oh my God, they kept. You know what I'm saying? I'd be okay.
Right. You ain't go all, wait a minute. You wouldn't go all who's Mark if they kept them.
You say that again?
Yeah, man. But to be honest with you, man, your answer caught me up there. Oh, I was asking you if you was gonna go all who's Mark if they kept them.
Was I gonna go at who's Mark? No, I'm not gonna go at who's Mark. I'm not gonna go at him because I think Mark is right. I think Mark is right about Elfrid Payton. Listen, I mean, I think Elfrid Payton is a good player. He just can't shoot. If Elfrid Payton could shoot the ball, right? If he could shoot it from deep, listen, without shooting it from deep, without being able to make it from deep, he shot 43.9% from the field. If he could make it from deep, right? If he could make it from deep,
that's not that bad. It's not as bad as it sounds, saying that he can't shoot from three.
I mean, he only made it 20. He only made 20% of his 3-pointers this year. You know what I'm saying? So for him to shoot 43.9% of the field from the field, and he only made 20% of his 3-pointers, you know, he only made 20%. If he could make a couple of 3-point baskets, he'd be shooting 45% from the field, which would be okay. So, you know, I don't know. But let me get to Mark. I want to find out what Mark's talking about. Let me get to Mark. Let Mark know I'm coming to him.
So I had a point real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
No, go ahead, Freezy. Go ahead.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I agree with your point about waiving the veterans, because the reason being is because with the salary cap looking like it's gonna shrink or go down next year, teams will be harder pressed to sign their own free agents. Yeah. So the Knicks will be in a better situation to absorb bad contracts in order to pick up first round picks. So it basically puts us in the catbird seat. Like if you want to give us a bad contract, say somebody on a 2-year deal, got 2 years left, and you want to free up the cap space in order to sign a free agent, we'll take a couple of first round picks from you in order to do that, and then that way you can go out and sign your guy, and we'll continue our rebuild with first round picks.
Yeah. We'll see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna come to Mark real quick, see what Mark's talking about. Mark, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just I had a good day today. Things move smooth. Things
right.
went in the right way for me today. So let's progress. What's going on?
That's what's up. All right, man. So look, here's my take on Elfrid Payton.
Okay, boss.
Like I was talking to Big Freezy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good ball player. He's gonna be a backup point guard for his career.
Yeah.
But at this point, he if the Knicks keep him, he's gonna make $8 million. The Knicks can get out from under his contract. If the Knicks had a bona fide starting point guard and they were a team that was, kind of right there, I'd say, you know what, keep him. Mm-hmm. But I think right now, I'd rather free up as much cap space as possible so we can have as much roster flexibility. So I'm probably going to waive him. But if they decided to keep him, I wouldn't be upset.
See, because this what the Knicks should have did the following year, last year. We should have been a team where we should have absorbed like the Andre Iguodala contract. They got a first round pick for that. So you're right. We need to open up space. We need to open up space to like help other teams help us. You know what I'm saying? Because what Big Freezer was talking about, the cap is going. If the season don't come back, the cap is going to lower. But I don't know how much it's going to lower to, but it's going to lower. So we should be able to free up the space from these overpaid players that we overpaid and take contracts with an asset, with a pick or a second round pick to just bolster up our utility. So when the time comes, we can make moves and use those picks to do things when the time comes. So like again, with Elfrid Payton, bro, he can go, right? Because as much as, we don't, some people don't care for Dennis Smith and stuff like that, you still wish, Knicks fans still wish you'd have seen him play to see where he's at in his career, or if he could be here and play a bench role. Because to this point, he's a bench player to this point, to me.
I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Dennis Smith Jr., I think he's gone.
I think he's gone just because of his confidence. And he had the same problem with Dallas. When he don't get his way, Sim, he gives off an attitude that a young player shouldn't give off, that didn't deserve the starting role. What makes him have an attitude to think that he deserved the starting role? Just because you put up 15 points a game, that don't mean anything. You was not consistent enough to be a point guard for Dallas. That's why Dallas wanted to trade you as soon as possible. Even in the first year of him getting drafted, they wanted to get rid of him. So Elfrid Payton, man, he don't really do much for us because his playmaking skills ain't what most people thought it was. He's more this year. It looked more of a gender between him and Randall, because when you just go back and watch certain games, Sim, it's like he only gives the ball to Randall or any other veterans. But like when it comes to the younger guys and getting them better, you can't say to a point where you say, oh, Elfrid Payton did a good pass to Knox or any of them young guys. And again, Sim, I think we're still going to be able to keep trail. I think he's going to come back because I think he wants to be here. And the fact that we gave him a chance, number one, that we can still use that as leverage. That's kind of, a leverage. And I will consider to keep him because the kid is efficient, man. The kid is highly efficient.
So let me ask you, right? Are you running? You get a rookie point guard in the draft. Are you running that rookie point guard and Frank at the backup? Are you confident with that?
Yeah, like I said, if we draft LaMelo he's getting thrown in the fire as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's gonna get thrown in the fire.
Yeah.
He's definitely gonna get thrown in the fire. But I still think you need, someone who could just kind of be.
Oh, see,
a teacher.
This is what I was suggesting, because there is something about Orlando wanting Dennis Smith Jr. So what I would do, I would say swap DJ Augustine. I'll take DJ Augustine because he know what to do. Like, he know what to do.
I'll take DJ Augustine.
Even if so, you can go trade for Corey Joseph. Go trade for him.
Okay,
I think he's a free agent.
I agree with you. Somebody like that.
Yeah,
somebody
there's guys
like that
who you can find.
Yeah, somebody like that. And that's what I'm saying too with Elfrid Payton.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I go ahead and waive him, because you can find a guy like that.
Yeah, because
you can find a guy like that.
And another thing too, people talking about Fred VanVleet. Do y'all know what he's commanding?
Well, if you get Fred VanVleet, you probably if you think you're gonna sign Fred VanVleet, you're probably not drafting a point guard, because he's gonna be your starting point guard.
He's gonna be asking like 18 to 20 mil a year, bro. A year. Yeah. But we only seen him for Toronto. We don't know how good he would be if he came to the Knicks, because think about who he's playing around with. He's playing with Kyle Lowry, Siakam, Ibaka, all these veterans. So of course his role is entirely different. For him to start and be a starting point guard, nah, no way. Especially for his size, no way. Teams will destroy him in ways they can't destroy him in Toronto. He's a good player, but not for no 18 to 20 mil. I'm sorry to be a starting point guard.
Well, we see what's going to happen, man. There's a lot that Leon Rose has to work out to try to get this roster.
But I feel like he's going to do something good. But all I know, I want to keep Reggie Bullock. He's somebody I really want to keep, because he's essential. He's very essential player. He could shoot the damn ball and he could play some defense. And boy, I take back what I said about him early in the season. About him.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that joke. I was like, man, freaking Reggie Bullock. Why we need a Reggie Bullock? I was like, hold up. Reggie Bullock. No, man, I don't care about no Reggie Bullock.
Listen, I'm coming. I'm coming to you as a man. I'm gonna be straight up with my takes, and when I say,
I remember that joke.
And when I make a mistake, I'm gonna bring it up. And that was a mistake, because when I started to watch him throughout the season when we had him, I said, "Ooh, yeah, we could use him. We could use him for a lot. He's a good 3-and-D2 guard." So, because I think Dotson's going, Sim, because I think a lot of the other teams going to be looking at him, and he wants a starting spot. So I think he's going to take the opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like him and Trey are probably both going to be gone.
No,
man.
Sim, I think Trey is going. Pardon me, I think Leon Rose going to keep Trey. I think they're going to re-announce his contract and try to sign him back. I think they are. I think they are.
I hope so.
I think they are. I hope so. I really do, because that kid has potential.
I hope so, but we'll see. We'll see. I feel like he might be on his way to Brooklyn.
You think so?
I feel like it. I feel like he could be on his way to Brooklyn. I know he wants to be in New York, but I feel like he might end up in Brooklyn. KD is his boy.
Yeah, Sim, I ain't gonna hold you. The way how he handled it like a champ, and
he did.
He really didn't show me, because when you watch certain games, he's getting off the bench like he scored. So I think there's a bond, especially with the young players. When you watch them, I think that the young players that we have, they have a bond. So I think I'll give Leon Rose a chance of getting back. Trey, I'm thinking Trey will come back.
Okay, all right.
Because we was the only team that was willing to draft him. Because remember, no other team was willing to draft him. So players like that take that in heat. So just
Yeah. Nah, they do, definitely. Let me get to a couple of phone calls and give a couple of shout outs. All right. Big shout out to, let me get to it, Ishmael Rivas. Thank you for the super chat. You said we need to let Elfrid go. He isn't worth that $8 million option. Plus, he's selfish and he squashes RJ's development. Tell me why you think he squashes RJ's development. Because he's not getting the ball in the right spot? Tell me why you think he squashes RJ's development. All right, and I also want to give a shout out to a couple of new members. Big shout out, I said Danny. Thank you for the becoming a member. Big shout out to Chris Johnson and Nick Gay. Thank you for becoming a member. Hopefully, you guys are able to enjoy. They're having some good conversations behind the scenes. Some nights they're jumping behind the scenes, other nights they're not. But I'm always gonna have this open for members. Okay, so that's you'll be able to enjoy that. Ladies and gentlemen, I got about 10 to 15 more minutes, and I'll be getting off so I can prepare for Classic Knicks. All right, Classic Knicks is on right after this. We're going to talk about, break down, and take a look at the New York Knicks and Miami Heat Game 5 of the first round in the 1999 NBA playoffs. Let me get to a phone call. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, son, what's going on? It's Ryan again.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right, man. Just dealing with this whole coronavirus thing, but
yeah, man,
doing what I can. Okay. Now, Elfrid Payton. Now, me myself, I would like to keep Payton, but then again, that $8 million though, that $8 million, man, could be, put towards, another player though, but, and Payton, I wish he could be a little bit more consistent, but I do like Payton though, man.
Right.
I guess I'm like this. If they decide, you know what I'm saying, to keep Payton, I'm very cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But if they decide, they want to go another way and free up that $8 million, then again, I'm cool. Then again, all depends on who they get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, there's the rumors, about getting Chris Paul and everything, I'll be willing to give them $8 million, try to bring Chris Paul aboard. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I feel you. And and if they're doing that, if they're giving up, trying to get that $8 million because they want to get Chris Paul, then they'd be doing not a sign and trade. They'd be absorbing his contract. I don't know if they're gonna if they would absorb his contract right out. I think they'd try to send some money back to OKC. You know what I mean, so that they would free up more. We'll see. This is where, listen, Leon Rose. He's an agent. Some people don't like the fact that he's an agent, and it seems like the Knicks are just trying to, what do you want to say? Trying to capitalize on his relationship with, with players. But, he's an agent. And when you're an agent, you got to have that art of negotiating. So he may have that art of being able to negotiate contracts and things like that. He's been on both sides of it, so. We're gonna see how that goes, man. We're gonna see how that goes. But I'm with you, man. Either way, I'm not gonna be mad either way. I'm not gonna be mad either way. I would rather they go ahead and free up the money. But if they kept him, I wouldn't be mad. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad if they kept him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so
There's something else I want to mention also too. The whole thing about Trey, though, I really hope, man, they can keep Trey on this team. I really do. Because I would hate, because I got the feeling that if the Knicks let him go, wherever he go, he is going to go somewhere else and do his thing.
And
I truly believe that if he was to leave the Knicks and go somewhere else, he is going to do his thing wherever he go.
Right.
I'm hoping the Knicks can keep him.
And, that could happen. That could happen. Jan said, keep it real, Sim. Leon Rose is going to bring in his friend. Who's his friend? You say he's going to bring in his friend. Who's his friend? Who's he talking about? I don't know, man. We'll see. But, hey, my man, I appreciate the call. I hope you're coming over to check out the game with us as we do this Classic Knicks.
What's that now?
I said, I hope you, coming over to, look at the game, because when I get off this stream, I'm going to be doing Classic Knicks. We're going to break down that game where Allen Houston, hit the last second shot. So hopefully you're going to come join us at 10:30.
Against Miami Heat.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Definitely take a look at that. See that again.
All right. No doubt. Hey, I appreciate the call, man.
It's good talking to you, man.
All right, good talking to you, brother.
Take it
easy. Be safe out there, man. Be safe out there. I'm going to get one more call, man, and then I'm going to have to get off and start getting ready for this classic Knicks. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yeah, how you doing, brother? This is Justin from yesterday about the Elfrid Payton situation.
Okay,
here.
there we go. I was waiting.
I'm waiting for my man Mark, though. I heard my man Mark talking.
Yeah, I was waiting. I can get Mark. Here he is right here. He's
Where's
ready
Mark?
for it. I got him on. As soon as he heard you say his name, he jumped up ready to go, man.
Nah, it's just that I'm working right now, man. It's too damn busy over here.
I feel you.
But I'm hearing everything right now about point guards. Let me put it like this, because
Okay.
I'm focused now. Through all these years, since we've been, the Knicks need a point guard. We wanted to draft Dennis Smith Jr. the year we got Frank. Big mistake there, in my opinion. We got Frank. Okay. Then they traded back. We got Dennis Smith back. Now we got Dennis Smith Jr. We got Frank. We got Elfrid Payton. Let me not even forget, we had, what's his name, Emmanuel Mudiay. We have 4 point guards. 4 point guards playing with us.
Huh?
Now, you telling me, we're going to get Fred VanVleet. We want Chris Paul, which I don't even see Chris Paul coming to the Knicks because he's trying to contend for a championship, not go in a rebuilding team. I mean, he got a better shot to make it to the finals with OKC than we do right now.
Okay.
In my opinion, like I said, and I'm going to say it again, keep paying for the short term, because who's to say we're going to go get Fred VanVleet from Toronto? Who's to say we're going to get this point guard all-star? We don't know. We thought we were going to get Kyrie Irving. He ain't come. Everybody's going after the name. Rebuild the team. And if we could get a good pick, get a good pick. But in my opinion, you keep paying and decide what you're going to do with Frank or what you're going to do with Dennis Smith. Either one of them is going to be backed up and you're going to trade something for something. But we're not going to get in my opinion, we're not going to get that all-star marquee name that everybody's talking about. Go get Chris Paul. Go get this guy. Who wants to come to a team that we don't even have an identity right now? We don't got no identity. No identity whatsoever. You got Taj Gibson starting at center. And I heard, I don't know who was talking about Kevin Knox earlier, about Elfrid Payton passing it to Knox, and Knox doesn't even hit his jump shot. How's Knox going to hit a jump shot when he's coming off the bench in the first quarter with like 2 minutes left in the first quarter? How's he going to shine with 2 minutes left in the first quarter? You drafted Knox to be a starter, or you drafted him to be a bench player, or you drafted him just because you had nothing better to do that year. In my opinion, let's rebuild, see how long it takes, work it from there. If we could get an all-star player, great. But if we can't get it. I'm tired of hearing about Giannis coming to the Knicks in 2 years or whatever. We're going to get this guy. I believe it when I hear the report, we got somebody. But for now, we have to build the young core we got. And in my opinion, as far as Elfrid Payton is concerned, I'd rather keep Elfrid Payton over Frank Ntilikina any day of the week. Frank Ntilikina gives you what? In a starting game, Ntilikina scored 6 points with 3 steals. I'd rather get Elfrid Payton's 14 points with 5 or 6 assists than Ntilikina's 6 points and 3 steals. Like, come on.
All right. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you do know Frank Ntilikina is still, he's still got some time to go, right? Elfrid Payton's 26 years old.
But 26 is kind of still young, though, in a way,
No. It's still kind of young, but it's still like 5 years older than Frank Ntilikina.
I mean, Chris Paul. I don't see no Chris Paul coming to the Knicks. I mean, if we thinking that, we got to get that fantasy out of this. Ain't NBA Live, man. We got to get that out of our heads, man.
Well, but what I'm saying is, listen, Chris Paul does not have a
he don't have a choice.
He don't have a trade clause where he can nix the trade. So if OKC wants to trade him, there's nothing he can do about it.
Oh, okay, I know that part.
Is Justin done?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm done, Mark. I'm done.
Go ahead, Mark.
Listen, Justin. I was waiting for you.
I got love for you, brother.
gonna keep it simple. Keep it real simple. Has Payton, when you watched him all throughout the season, has anyone got significantly better with him on the floor?
No one's going to get better with him on the floor because we have no one that's better, period. We're not building nobody. You got Taj Gibson as your starting center. How are you going to build with a veteran that's about to retire?
Listen, Justin. What percentage do Elfrid Payton shoot? Matter of fact, he don't even take shots.
Yeah, he don't take shots. He don't take too many shots, but in my opinion, I'd rather keep him over Frank.
He shoots 44% from the field.
I'd rather keep him over Frank.
I'd rather keep a kid that know how to play defense and that is smarter on the court than someone that is just being selfish on the floor. Because
you got a point there.
He was completely selfish, bro.
You got a point there. There was plenty of times that he went nut. I give you that.
Completely selfish. He's not a significant talent for me to say, "Ooh, I'm gonna give him another $8 million." I'd rather give DJ Augustine because he's way more productive. He's been way more productive in his NBA career, and when he's on the floor, he does significant things that you would like in your point guard, pushing the ball. Elfrid Payton don't push the ball one iota. He does not push the ball. He does not get
frankly,
the ball
for me, I think it's more about building a team. Listen, if we could get a point guard that's something better, whatever, fine then. But in my opinion, I think it's the other positions that we need to build on. That's what I'm saying, basically.
It's not, if you're going to keep him, right?
But point guard has been the poison, though, so.
He's keeping minutes. He's keeping minutes away from your young players. So Elfrid Payton, playing 20 minutes a game, 20, 25 minutes a game, Sim?
Yeah, that situation, I blame that on the coaches, though. I blame that on the coaches, man.
All right, for you to be my point guard, for you to play 20 to 25 minutes, you have to do something very significant for me to say, okay, I'm willing to bring you back. He does nothing for me.
You got a point there.
It's not like he has any type of impact that you would see Mitch have on games from time to time when he's on the floor. He's not even slightly as impactful as Mitch, bro, or even Frank when he plays.
My situation, what I'm saying is, as far as the point guard position with the Knicks is concerned, is that you had in 1 year 4 point guards. Like one week, Frank Ntilikina started 2 games. Payton started 3. Dennis Smith's going to start the next 4. You're not going to build or even try to see what you got when you letting 4 guys rotate. And, what you're going to get with 4 guys rotating in one position, it's not going to work with that. That's what I'm saying. So either decide what you're going to do with Frank or Payton or Smith. One of them got to go, and then you build on the other 2 until you get that legitimate point guard. That's what I'm trying to say. But in my opinion, though, for now, Payton should start for now until we see something else.
Hold on. Why he can't be on this team? Because, again, you're going to have other point guards out there in free agency, like the Corey Joseph, the DJ Augustine, guys like that, right?
Well,
He paying him $8 million, especially when the cap is coming down, especially where the Knicks is at right now. You want to free up that money. So he's disposable. He is disposable. Yeah. Okay? You have Dennis Smith Jr. Most people still want to see him play. Now, if you have Payton here taking up 20 to 25 minutes, that's taking away Dennis Smith Jr.
Trust me, I wish Dennis Smith was the starting point guard, but that's what I'm blaming on the coaching system. You know what I'm saying?
So if you have somebody as significant, right, you'll be okay with Dennis Smith not playing. But Elfrid Payton ain't significant to a point where honestly, talent-wise, I prefer.
Talent-wise, I'm gonna give it more to Smith Jr. But what I'm trying to say, as far as that position is concerned, if you look at the games, you know, sometimes Smith shows up, and then there's days where is Dennis Smith? Like, where's Smith at? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm gonna let you two finish that conversation in the chat because I gotta get on. You can stay on, my man. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and finish that conversation behind the scenes.
I got love for my man Mark.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys finish that there, and I'm gonna get on because I gotta get over here to yeah, because I got to get over here to, to the classic Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And while we're doing classic Knicks, You know, I see some guys got their hands raised and want to get a couple things in. I'll let you guys get a couple things in when we get over to Classic Knicks. So, you know, just stay on. You guys just stay there in the chat because I know there's some guys up there I didn't get to. But I'm going on over to Classic Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you join me there at 10:30. We're taking a look at the New York Knicks versus the Miami Heat. I put the link in the YouTube chat a bunch of times. All right. And you probably got the notification. So at 10:30, we're going to watch the game. We're going to actually watch the game. Not all of it, but portions of the game. And we're going to talk about it, break it down. It should be fun. So make sure you join me on Classic Knicks. 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. I got to get it set up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys for joining in on the conversation. It was a good conversation. And we should still have the chat built up so you guys can still, you know, stay in the chat, see what's popping in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. All right, be peaceful. Join me over there on Classic Knicks, man. I'm out. Peace.